Tarot. My name is Carmen, and today we have a reading for you about somebody who likes to let people underestimate them, likes to maybe even change how it is that they speak or what vocabulary they utilize. Because it allows them to be kind of incognito or able to observe without people really being too nervous about it, and they figure things out or figure out people around them a little bit more readily because people don't take them seriously. So let's call in spirit with a little bit of wind chime time. And I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. If you're interested in a personal reading, I would love to do one for you. My email address is wickedonestarot@gmail.com. You can find that in the description box, along with more information on how to become a member, for example, how to find my t-shirt from the other day, and also how to find my homemade candles. They're made with soy, by the way, so they're better for the environment and better for you. But let us dive in, shall we? What do we need? I think we need the Earth and Bones. Ooh, if I can actually get it. Earth and Bones Oracle. Let us dive in, shall we? What else do we need to know about this person who doesn't let everybody know how smart they actually are? Number 24, beloved. Love, relationships, reciprocity, union and intertwinement. And number 6, surrender, letting go, trust, consideration, and expansion. So there is somebody here who I think is having a protective energy. It's the way that this skull is looking at the other one. I do think that this is someone who has a very protective and maybe even slightly possessive energy towards someone that they really care for. It could be romantic, it could just be, the kind of protective energy you have for a family member. But we have someone who is hesitating when it comes to trusting someone. Like, I don't trust you with this person. It kind of makes me think of how mothers or fathers can be when they meet like a prospective partner, or these two are getting married or whatever. And sometimes it just doesn't go very well because we have someone who can kind of figure out, no, I don't think you can trust that person. They seem to be working with not so great intentions. So it feels to me like it is the person who is protective that likes to just kind of let people make assumptions and not necessarily recognize that they are quite intelligent. We have the owl, wisdom, advancement, independent thinking, and enlightenment. And adversary, hard work, diligence, progress, challenges, and adversity. Hello, Farat. How are you doing? Please call me Carmen. Woman is a little bit disrespectful. No? So we've got this person who I think their initial reaction is, there's something about this person that I don't like, but I'm going to let them think that I'm not quick to pick up on these matters, and we'll see what I can glean from that observation, right? Hello, Mechanic. How are you doing? Hello, Gandalf. This is a tarot reading. What else do we have? Two of Songs, Two Cups. Yeah, I think this is somebody who is meeting the family. Or maybe it's a best friend, There are best friends out there that are like, I will figure you out, and if you are not cool for my friends, I'm going to let them know, and you won't have a chance. But we have protective, loving energy, trying to figure out why this partner doesn't seem like a good person. With the Nine of Cups, whoever they are dealing with, the person they're trying to protect is, I think, rather smitten, rather interested. Gandalf, I do actually. One of the other things in my description box is a link to my second channel where I read books. That one's not monetized because the intention is to be ASMR, so I don't want it to be interrupted with advertisements. I'm doing well, thank you. Hello, Taylor. Hello, Rob. Welcome back, Imported. Hey, Kay Garrett. How have you been? Welcome back. I hope you're having a good day. Hey, Taylor, let me ask what your intentions are. What are you hoping to have a religious conversation during my tarot reading? Because I'm not really going for that. Oh, welcome back, Dennis. I see you're still being disrespectful. Thanks for stopping by. Hello, Bobby. How are you doing? Hello, Matt. Welcome. So we've got the King of Swords, or the King of Dreams, and the King of Songs, which is the King of Cups. So I remember when I was a teenager, my much older brother was visiting in town, and I think it was the first time that he had to deal with the reality of my dating someone. Now, the person that I was dating at that time was not very great, so I get it. But it was weird to see my brother like be defensive. I was used to him just being kind of like obnoxious. But he was just like kind of mean to this dude. And that's what this is like. This is somebody who is, well, look at the picture. They're holding back. They got a little bit of glare, right? Distrust might be kind of steaming off of them. And it's because we have some love connection here and some desire to protect someone from a problem. Hello, Charles. How are you doing? You're from Iowa? That's awesome. If I were to watch a football game, it would be an Iowa Hawkeyes game. Or go to a basketball game, it would be to, hold on, what's the name of that? Now I can't remember, but they have really good ice cream. That's one thing that I know. Hello, Funny. How are you doing? Hey, Taylor. Yeah, I mean, that might work for everybody else, but I have room in my heart for both. I just feel like that doesn't need to be the focus of my live stream. Hello, Carrie. How are you doing? Hello. Napoleon? Interesting. It's like a different spelling. It's great. Yeah, that's also true, Imported. And also, tarot, the art, the original art, was actually, well, no, maybe not the original art for like the Page of Pentacles, for example. I don't think had the people until Pamela Smith. So I think that came later. But with like the High Priestess, for example, the artwork, they were found in the Italian papal court. So yeah, put that in your pipe and smoke it. Yes, we don't even like spam in a can. I do get a lot of people commenting on that. No worries. I appreciate that, Taylor. I think where it comes into play is a lot of people assume that when you're reading cards, there's some sort of like demon on the other side that you're talking to. And I would blame the Ouija board for that. I do not think the Ouija board is a good idea to ever mess with, just to be clear. But I think a lot of people like to use religion to control what other people can do, and that's weird to me. Hello, Jamaica. How are you doing? Hello, is it Salim? How are you doing? It's emergency food. LOL. Hey, Salim, it sounds like maybe you're having a rough day. Would you like to try that one again? Maybe you could be like, I don't know, respectful and stuff. I believe in you. Did I say hello to Lemonade? Hello. Okay, well, that's fine, Salim. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye. So we have the Three of Wands and the King of Wands in the reverse. A little bit creepier here. This is somebody who I think is not serious about the relationship, but maybe they're really charming, maybe they're beautiful, maybe they're extremely like well educated. There's something that they offer that has kind of got one of these individuals quite smitten, right? So sometimes love is blind. Sometimes we get a little bit caught up in some emotions and feel like somebody might be a really good person to be cavorting with. But this King of Wands, who's very protective, it's like they see something that either they used to have or a way that they used to act, or they feel like the person they're protective of is just kind of missing all of the red flags. So whether it's a close friend or a parent, we have this individual who wants to make sure that heartache is avoided. But the star, this is the person that they're trying to protect, is not necessarily being honest with themselves about what they're dealing with or who they're dealing with. So with the World and the reverse, this is giving off a little bit of like naivete. So perhaps a younger individual who's believing the charming lies told to them. But this King of Wands is stepping in basically to say, I think you need to like reassess the situation because the person that you're dealing with that you think is so great is actually quite dishonest. This person doesn't seem to have the integrity that you would want in a partner. Hello, Jahoon. How are you doing? Ooh, that sounds rough. I had my air conditioning in my car and in my apartment go out at the same time in like July. It was awful. I had at one point like 18 fans in my apartment. So we have the Three of Songs. This is the friend. This is the person or the family member who's like, I don't know about that person. I don't trust them. But again, I don't feel like they're out here just like meet the parents style, like let's hook you up to a lie detector and see whether or not we can trust you. I think their approach is more like, I'm going to sit and I'm going to observe. I'm going to see what you have to say. I'm going to see what I can pick up from your body language. But I'm not going to let you know that I'm watching you like that. I'm going to let you think that I'm like distracted or I'm not like super focused on you. And then I'll see what I can pick up. This is the Cook's Tarot. You have no AC? Oh no. I mean, it's probably a day I could be using the AC, but the fan's enough. We good? Alright. What else do we have? Page of Cups and the Page of Pentacles. There's definitely some like youthful energy here. And somebody who feels like they have found exactly what they're looking for, that Nine of Cups. But the reality is they're dealing with someone who's a fraud. They're dealing with somebody who is not being honest about their intentions. Well, it looks like I need to learn how to shuffle. We got the Six of Swords and the Hierophant. This could be somebody who's getting married, and the protective friend or family member is like, I think you need a prenup. I think you need to really consider whether or not this is somebody that you could get married to and have a good time with, because there is something that you're not wanting to see. You're like ignoring the red flags about this person. Maybe because you're just so excited to get married, or because you really think that they're super attractive. But the King of Wands is trying to be basically like a reality check for the person that they care about. And it could be someone that they're related to, it could be a close friend. But the King of Wands is smarter than they let on. Notice how in the Three of Pentacles we have this like lighter part, and the Sun talks about enlightenment or being able to pick up on some of the more nuanced information around you. This is someone who sees the true character of the individual that has been romancing their friend or family member. So they feel like they need to be like, we need to have a talk. We need to talk about this person that you think you can trust, because I feel like you cannot. Oh no. I hope you get a new vacuum. Or if it's possible to repair the old one, but I know that can be kind of tricky. What else? Lovers in the reverse. Moon in the reverse. Strength. The strength energy is Leo energy, and this is that King of Wands person. Recognizing that the individual who is romancing their friend or family member, they're trying to basically paint like an illusion of who they really are. Some people, they'll see right through whatever illusion you create for them. King of Swords, King of Wands in the reverse. So even though this individual who's coming through as the King of Swords, by the way, speaks with confidence or sounds like they know what they're talking about, and likely pretty frequently talks about getting over an issue or a problem, this is someone who's coming through as like falsely confident. Like there is an imposter, or there is some untrue element to their story. So simply put, this King of Wands doesn't feel like this relationship could stand the test of time, because someone's hiding something, because someone's being dishonest about who they really are or what they really want. So who is this King of Swords? We have Justice and King of Pentacles. So this is someone who may be in like the legal industry, or may have a high degree of education. They have an expertise and they lean on that to get respect early on. But this is also someone who has probably got a pretty like stable financial situation. So I don't feel like they're getting married for money. But I do feel like they enjoy finding relationships where the individual that they would be with is codependent or can be controlled. So there could be an age gap. There could be kind of like some strange, you all don't really make sense as a couple. I know for some it could be, you know, you're extremely attractive and this person's not. There's some judgments made on these two. But I don't know that anybody actually voices that. It's like, oh, okay, sure, y'all are a little bit different, but whatever. This King of Wands has quietly been studying and observing and trying to figure out what this King of Swords is really all about. And I do feel like they are right to be suspicious. What else do we have? Eight of Swords, Page of Pentacles in the reverse, where did you go? Uh-oh. Oh, that's not the card I'm looking for. Oops. Oh, there you are. So we have the Page of Pentacles and the Page of Wands. The Page of Pentacles is in the reverse. Yeah, I feel like there's false reporting here or a mask this person is wearing, because this Eight of Swords, this is like you can't get in and, figure me out because I've got all this information locked up, or I've made sure that whatever you have access to is just like the, I don't know, the good looking information about me. Yes, exactly, Lemonade. Seven of Wands, Ace of Swords in the reverse, and the Two of Cups. All right, so this could be a case where they did have money or they were financially stable at the outset, but now something has changed. Now we have, with the Ace of Swords in the reverse, clarifying that Five of Pentacles, the lie being related to some sort of, like, I don't want you to know what's really going on with my finances. I didn't want you to know I got sued, or, now that the divorce is final, I don't have what I thought I did. Or maybe this is just somebody who's pretty used to telling everyone falsehoods about where their money comes from or how much of it they have, what they do for work. But this King of Wands, I feel like they're able to identify what's really going on with this King of Wands. And it's something that they know the star would not like, because it's a lie, right? You're going to want to get married to somebody who is honest, has integrity. We have the Ace of Cups in the reverse. I'm not convinced this King of Wands is even looking like they're not getting serious about an investigation. I feel like they're at the right place at the right time, and they're just like consistent in their observation. But we could have somebody who gets drunk with Temperance in the reverse and accidentally confesses something, or forgets that their phone is unlocked. There's some like right place, right time situation that enables this King of Wands to get access to information that proves that this King of Swords is in fact lying about something. Because we keep getting the Six of Swords in the reverse. This is someone who is basically making it seem like they are very well off or, independently wealthy. But this King of Wands finds out that that's not true, or that some element of their background is a lie. Hello, Holly. I hope you're having a good day. Hello, Gamin. What's up? It's true. What else do we have? We have the Fool, the Star, and the Five of Swords in the reverse. This King of Wands wants to make sure that their friend or family member, whoever this is to them, doesn't get caught up in some financial problem or doesn't get scammed, right? Feels like the Star is maybe a little bit younger or naive. That's how it's coming through from the King of Wands. So this is like, I need to make sure that my friend or the person I care about knows the truth about whoever they're dating. Because this is not someone who's been honest. This King of Swords has lied about something. This is the Situations deck. What else do we have? Hello, Improve. I hope you're doing well today. Hello, Heartache. I hope you're having a good day. Hello, Lasantha. How are you doing? We have receipts, proof, show me. This is the King of Wands, maybe doing a little bit of a background search, realizing that the King of Wands is looking into them might make the King of Swords get a little bit defensive, but they say something and it gives the King of Wands insight into what is being lied about. And now we have someone who's starting to get angry or defensive because they don't want this truth to come out. They don't want to get discovered or figured out like that, you know? Oh, I'm glad to hear that. And I hope I said your name right. Hello, Lee. How we doing? Yes, of course. Thank you. Hello, Art. How are you doing? Oh, my. So we have someone who's convinced that this King of Swords is their soulmate and that they feel the same way. We have this recalling card, so there's just this like conviction that this is the person I want to be with. I have great memories with them. I feel like they're the one. Of course, I want to get married to them. And this King of Wands is like, no, you don't. This person's fake. They told you what you wanted to hear. But if you actually do a little bit of digging or observe this person, like I did, then you would see that they are hiding something from you. But I think this King of Wands knows they have to have this conversation with the star, the person they care about, after they have some receipts. They have to be able to prove this, because most people who are in love that get told that the person they're in love with is a fake or a fraud, they're going to be like, no, I don't believe you. They're too attractive to be a liar. No, of course they're smart. Yeah, no, look at this degree that they showed me. And it's like photoshopped. So now we have this King of Wands trying to figure out, how can I obtain some concrete evidence? How can I make sure that this person who's controlled by their emotions right now can actually appreciate the records and see this King of Swords for who they really are? Let's see, what do we want? This is the Metamuse. Hello, Tiana. What's up? You just got 106 miles. Crazy. Hello, Bree. What's up? Hello, Ronaldo. What else do we have? Nine of Swords in the reverse. We have a little bit of reckless energy from the star. Again, they seem to come through with pretty young energy, so they might be just a little bit naive when it comes to discernment and seeing people's true colors. Especially if this is somebody who's doing some wedding planning, it feels to me like they don't want to hear the truth. They don't want to know that this King of Swords is a fraud, because that would just make them look foolish, and they don't want to cancel the wedding, or they don't want to be single. I think they're finding out this King of Swords has lied about their financial situation or what they do for work. So that Seven of Swords in the reverse, this is like, this person's lied to you, and here's the proof. Here's the concrete evidence that I have. So I strongly encourage you not to marry someone who is content to lie to you about who they are. Instead, I think you should stay single. Nine of Pentacles. Listen to your intuition, because I think you know that something is not quite right. Seven of Cups in the reverse and the Three of Cups. World in the reverse. See, this is something about the King of Swords that is probably to do with a different place in the world. This is not something that happened in the same town. It's not something that is easy information to get. But this King of Wands is willing to go to great lengths to make sure that the star is not in some unhealthy, toxic, dishonest relationship. All right, let's see what we get from the Love Oracle, and then we're going to start on personal questions. Fake it till you make it up. Yeah, pretty much. Hello, Ray. How are you doing today? All right. What's going on with this King of Swords? Someone who is able to build rapport quickly and gives off the illusion that they are being vulnerable and offering some, you know, meaningful connection. But they're tailoring what they say about themselves in a way that they feel is going to be embraced by their target or the potential, like, prospective lover, right? But there's someone from this King of Swords past. This could be like an ex-wife, ex-husband, or this could be, you know, former best friend. But I feel like the King of Wands got information, maybe from social media, maybe from actually going somewhere in person. But they found out something about a previous life, previous relationship, perhaps. And it paints a very different picture about this King of Swords than the King of Swords has painted of themselves. Maybe they were very possessive. Maybe they were very, like a mooch, right? Like, I got all this money and I claim that it's because I'm good at business, but really I have this money because I divorced somebody and I took them to the cleaners. Like, I took everything of theirs. There's this desire to keep the star focused in one area so that they can, you know, hide some things about themselves. It's very magician energy, but like the negative, right? Like, look over here, these things are great, and this is like something you would love about me, but I don't want you to know this about me because then you'd like know who I really am, or you'd know that I'm not really as honest as you think. But hopefully you don't find out anything about that until after we have signed those papers and you are legally mine, right? So we have clinging, holding on, obsessing, and spying. I do think that this is somebody who has partaken in something like stalking or making an ex look like the guilty party or stealing from an ex. But they have mistreated someone in their past, and I think this King of Wands is able to figure it out, talks to this person, and gets a greater understanding of who this King of Swords really is, and it makes them even more protective over their friend, that they really want to have a happy relationship, not get stuck in a relationship. So they bring forward this information, and it's confusing for the star because they felt like this was who they wanted to marry. But now, maybe not. It happens. All right, let's see what we have for Lee. This is the Egyptian Tarot. Did I use that the last time? I don't know why. I feel like I need a different tarot deck for you, Lee. I'm going to go with the Marseille Cat Tarot instead. All right, what does Lee need to know, please? What does Lee need to know, please? Temperance. The Eight of Wands in the reverse. Page of Cups in the reverse. Empress in the reverse. Death, King of Pentacles, and the Emperor in the reverse. My. This feels like a family situation or a workplace. It's a group of people. Sometimes they get along, sometimes they don't. So take it how it resonates. It could be that social club you told me about. But there is something here that has been kept secret, and it's about to be made more public, or at least one person knows about it, and then they're like, psst, 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 did you hear about this? Psst, psst, psst. But this information is departure from the original description of an event or a situation. And it's talking about somebody who has lost control, possibly in the context of a party, right? It could be that somebody was drunk, especially with this Seven of Cups. I feel like there was somebody who was drunk, and the story about what happened was told like intentionally wrong. Like, oh, no, everything was fine. I slept at home. No need to be worried. Or, no, I definitely did not drive after that. I would never do such a thing. But they're lying to save face. They don't want to get judged for something that happened while they were drinking. Queen of Cups. Seven of Swords. This is someone who's claiming to have prioritized someone that they care about versus getting drunk, but they lying. They are lying. Whatever they say was more important to them, they just wanted to seem that way. Three of Cups. They went out and partied. So now we've got a group of people finding out what really happened when this person was drunk. They can't lie about it anymore. Yes, return to sender is a very good option for that. So Lee, you're gonna find out the truth. I feel like this is more of like a popcorn eating moment for you, but it might also be confirmation of something that your intuition was telling you to be true. It might also be a heads up to avoid some social event because it might get a little bit tense, you know? All right. I'm gonna do just a little bit more for that general reading because I'm curious. I wanna know what happens to the liar. This is the Pause Tarot. So tell me what happens to this King of Swords. Do they get punted from the wedding? Is the wedding canceled? I must know. No. Looks more like it gets delayed, rescheduled. But then with the Four of Swords in the reverse, there is no remedy. And things fall apart even more so after the decision to delay the nuptials. So with the Ten of Pentacles in the reverse, this long-term relationship starts to look like it'll just be short-term. Hanged Man in the reverse. Even though we have someone who is a little bit difficult and doesn't want to admit the truth about their potential marital partner, I think now they're starting to listen to this King of Wands. I think they're starting to acknowledge this is somebody who wants me to be happy. They're not going to lie to me about something. So especially if they're coming forward with some receipts, probably need to take that seriously. Three of Cups, Two of Wands, and the Page of Cups in the reverse. Yeah, I feel like we have someone giving back the ring or someone backing out, saying, I just don't think that we should do this. Starting to question if I really know you at all. For some of you, it could even be an annulment that happens. We have the Magician. Yep, somebody who thought that they could distract everyone and make it seem like they were the perfect partner. But this King of Wands was able to figure out what was really going on. Did a little bit of investigative work. Because they don't want their friend caught up in some ridiculous, like, BS marriage. All right. What else do we have about this, please? What else do we have? Six of rupees or Six of Pentacles. 10 of rupees or 10 of Pentacles. There is something that this star inherits, or something that seems a little bit like financial security. And that could be the motivation for this King of Swords to try to marry the star. But the King of Wands seems to be saving the day. Like, no. Let's see what this person's hiding. We know that this isn't someone who's been fully honest about what's going on. Five of Pentacles in the reverse, or Five of Rupees in the reverse, and the Page of Pentacles, or Page of Rupees in the reverse. So now whatever seemed like a sure thing, now the star is looking at it and they're like, I don't know, man. You're too secretive for me. That doesn't work. Hello, Chris. How are you doing? Yes, Brie, I do think it could be about a house. Hello, Scammy. Oh, I hope you feel better. Hello, Ruben. How are you doing? Well, Chris, technically we started the whole reading, well, kind of. It was like the 7th card. We had the Two of Cups come out from the second tarot deck, which I would argue is the Two of Hearts. Two of Hearts is if you're using like a 52 card playing deck, right? But if you're talking about actual tarot, I think you would be referring to the Two of Cups. Hello, Alter. How are you doing? Also, yes. Or this could be someone who's trying to get married, but they never actually completed a divorce with a different relationship. Because now we have the Three of Cups in the reverse. And there's the Two of Cups. So now this love that seemed so certain in the beginning is eroded because the King of Wands was able to find some dishonest comment, or, did a little bit of investigation and realized that this King of Swords did not fully disclose what was going on or what their motivations or intentions were. So now we have a delayed or even canceled wedding. I don't feel like they're mad at their King of Wands friend or family member. But I do feel like there's some sense of disappointment here because they thought that they had finally found their person. Instead, they realized they were kind of like scammed. They were convinced to believe in someone who is a fraud. No worries, Ruben. I appreciate that. Hello, Ningangura? Did I say it right? I'm worried I said it wrong. Hello, Namael. How are you doing? I am drawn to that question, so I am going to answer that for you. So Namael, I hope I'm saying your name right. Is SN a good person for me? Is SN a good person for Namael? Yes, I think you've actually known this person in a previous life. I don't know if you subscribe to that belief, but I think you recognize each other. We have the Two of Wands and the Eight of Swords. SN it's not going to be a perfect connection, okay? But this person is going to illuminate a path that is possible for your life to take. that you otherwise would not have found. So like I've had people that I encountered, what was it called in past lives? Inyan? So if you're from South Korea, maybe you know what that means. But that movie talked about Inyan, where the belief that when you encounter someone, you were fated. There was some reason for that person to be there. I do feel like this person is supposed to be in your life, but I'm not necessarily convinced that this is someone who's going to be around for a long time. I think they are meant to put you on a particular path. So like I've had friendships or connections with people where it's like, man, that was like kind of difficult, led to some issues. But if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have, found my passion, or I wouldn't have ended that friendship or decided to move. This person helps you find the right path or the passion that you are meant to be embracing in your life. So we have the Star in the reverse. Little warning though that SN is unhealed. There is unhealed trauma that could impact you. So the important thing is to trust your intuition and not let this person's unhealed energy impact your desire to work on yourself. Ninganguda, have you subscribed and liked the video? Hello, Arts. Have I said hi? Maybe I have said hi to you. Because I will ask if you have liked and subscribed, then I will figure it out for you. But I have not seen you before. Is it best to go for engineering versus law? No, law. Judgment. Law is better for you. Because there's something on the engineering side. It's like you would lose your passion for it, or you would get too frustrated, or maybe you just wouldn't have good peers to work with. But I see you making a difference in terms of legal arguments, cases. There's something in particular, someone who would otherwise be without defense, and you save this situation from being an injustice. Not necessarily saying that you're a defense lawyer, but I see you providing protection to someone who very much so is deserving of it. Giving good advice or stopping something that would be a problem for them. You're welcome, Namiel. You're welcome, Ninkangura. Did I say it right? I hope I did. I apologize if I didn't. Wait, is someone hitting on art? Who's hitting on art? You're welcome. And I wish you a lot of luck because I think you're going to make a big difference with that. So, yes. All right. I'm going to leave it there. And I should be back for one more tonight. I do have some personal readings to do. But thank you for the likes. Thank you for the subscribes. Thank you for hyping if you're able to. And I will see you on the next reading. Toodles.